Hi there. Now it's December, I thought we might have a go at making some Christmas flowers. They're made in the same way as we made the dragonflies, so those of you that liked that will really like them. I had a poinsettia plant last year, as I do every year, but it lasted all this time, and I have got some real flowers on it, but I thought, oh, I'll just put some more in and see if I can make it look pretty with these artificial ones. So I hope you like it. It's quite pretty. I'm going to add more to it, but this is just to give you a general idea. But they are quite pretty. You can make them as thick or as big or as small as you want. You can put glitter on them or anything you want. So shall we try and have a little go? Okay, well, this is what we need. We don't need an awful lot. And the main thing we need is PVA glue. The white one is better for this, and also a couple of tubs. This sort of size is ideal, and a flatter tub as well for the bigger petals, and that's where we dip the glue in. So you would need to put the glue in these little tubs and let the glue go tacky. It's much easier to use when it's tacky. So then we need some polystyrene or some sort of oasis that we stick the wire in once the leaves are made, and that's like that. And this thin wire is very thin and easy to cut with scissors if you haven't got wire cutters, but if you have got wire cutters you can use those. Some pincers, again, don't have to use them, you can use your fingers. A couple of sticks or twigs to fix your flower onto, to put in your vase or your holly or whatever you're going to put in with it. Some red glitter if you're going to use it, and some acrylic paint, red and yellow for to paint the stamens and red for the petals. Once you've bought this, it's only £2 a tube and it'll last you for ages and ages and ages, but you do need the acrylic. So that's it really, that's really all you need. So the first thing we need to do is paint the stamens and get them ready for the centre of the petals. So all you do is you get 2 stamen ends on each stamen, so I just use 3, so that in total we've got 6. Quite honestly, if you wanted it a bit more bushy, you could do that. You could use a lot more. And as I said, I'll fold them in half and just wrap the wire around to secure them. And you can do this with your fingers, or you can do it with those little pliers that I said to you about. You can use string as well, or maybe even embroidery thread where you can just fan it out, or put little beads on the end. There's lots of ways you can make stamens, and I'll try and do that in a little short for you to give you a hand on that. But there's lots of ways you can make stamens, but you can get hold of these much easier. So you just want a little bit, not much, glue, I beg your pardon, yellow paint for your stamens. Lay it on some paper and just brush it like this. This is all you're going to do, is brush it so that it's completely covered. And once it's completely covered, just fan it out a little bit so that they're not going to stick together. Some of them will, but it honestly won't matter. You can pull them apart anyway. But that's how I do it, and I find it's quicker for it to dry. And then just leave that there and leave it to dry. It won't take long. Acrylic paint dries very quickly actually, so that's that. Always remember, with acrylic paint you must wash your brushes straight after in soapy water. Okay, before making these petals, I will warn you, you do need patience. They won't work first time every time, and sometimes once you've stuck them in the polystyrene like I have here, these are a couple I did this morning, they're drying quite nicely, as you can see, but this one has collapsed, so you have to do that again, and you'll find that you will have to do that on a few of them. So cut your wires. The size I'm using is 20-ish centimetres and 14-ish centimetres, and the reason I'm saying that is because these are petals. It doesn't matter about the size. You can do whatever size you want, and in fact I think I'm going to make some bigger ones later on and wrap them around the edge of the flowers I've already done, but I'll show you that at the end of the project. So that's what you need to do. You need to pour your PVA glue into your tubs, a small tub for the small petal, a larger tub for the larger petal. You don't need a lot of it, as you can see, maybe a little bit more than that, but you don't need a lot of it. But if you could do this the day before you do this project, the glue will be tacky, and it's so much easier to do when it's tacky. So we'll do a small one first. You just bend your wire. Let me do it near the glue so you can see it a bit easier, I think. I'm not sure. Bend your wire like that and just twist it. So you twist your wire and then twist it so that it's nice and tight. And this is where I use my pliers, but as you can see, you don't really need to. Then with your fingers, just push it up a little bit, and you can just pinch it in like that. Again, if you've got pliers, it is a bit easier because it's easier on your fingers. You just do this and then spread out your petal. Can you see that easier if I hold it there? There. It's just to show you it. There we are. That's easier for you to see. And then you just bend up there, because that's what you're going to use to dip it into the glue, and put it to one side. Okay, and you do a few of those, and then you do exactly the same with the larger one. You just take it down to around, I don't know what, 5-6 centimetres. So you've got a stalk, basically. Bend it over, wrap it round, twist it like that so it's nice and tight. Exactly the same as you did for the little one. And they're quite nice when they are a little bit different shapes. Because petals aren't always perfect, are they? Especially poinsettia ones, they're all over the place. So that's your bigger one, so that you've got a large one and a small one. Okay, can you see that? Large and a small one. So we've got our small petal and we've got our large petal. You'll need 6 large petals, 4 or 5 small petals, and you can make these petals whatever size you want. I'm just showing you this particular size. And it's just the knack of this. It's not difficult, but it's not that simple. So you'll just have to trust me on this. It's something that you need patience for. You dip it in. You use the small tub for the small petal. You just dip it in. It doesn't always work first time. Doesn't always work third time. There you go. See, it doesn't work first time. Dip it in, sort of streak it across and hold it up. You're just trying to get the sticky glue onto the metal wire. That's what you're trying to do. And then you're turning it up and down and up and down. I'm doing this quickly, but, you know, if you've got a bit of time, it's much better to do this slowly. And then when you're ready, you just pop it into your polystyrene and let it dry. The bigger one is harder. Always is harder because it's a bigger area to fill. So you stroke it exactly the same though, exactly the same. Doesn't work, back in again, up again. There we go. It's just patience. It really is patience, and it's a good lesson for patience. And up and down again so that you're making it a little bit thicker like that. Okay. There we go. And that's it. And you need to make, as I say, 6 large ones and 4 or 5 little ones. Right, well, once your petals or your leaves, whatever you want to call them, are completely dry, you just need to paint them. It must be completely dry. Your brush must be dry and it must be soft. And you don't go backwards and forwards, because it'll just come, it'll make it go all gooey. So you need plenty of acrylic paint, and I've just put that on there for now. And then all you do is start at this end and very, very carefully go over the whole thing. If you don't go over the whole thing first time, it doesn't matter, because you can come back and do it again in a minute. But that's what you have to, well, not in a minute, but when it's dry, you will go over them again because it keeps them stronger. The bigger ones are harder to do because, again, you've got that place to fill, the space to fill, and it's much harder. And you can see this is wrinkling already, but it does that all the time. Oops. And if you break it, all you do, there you go, you can just wrap it over. Now I'm going to leave that to dry so that I can go over that again later on when it's dry, and it will be perfectly fine, you'll see. I'll do one more large one just so you can see. But just do it I'm not pushing at all with this brush. I've got plenty of paint on it and I'm just going over it. See, now that one's been fine. I'm not going to bother to go over that again because I'll break it like I did just now. I'm going to leave it and we're going to go over it a second time, which we have to do anyway. So once you've painted all your leaves, just leave them to dry and then we'll get on with the next stage. So these are all dry now, and what I'm going to do now is just go over the bits that didn't take the first time when we did the first bit of red painting on them. You may find that some don't need anything at all, but some will. So again, your nice dry brush, soft brush, you won't need as much on this time. Just keep painting like that. Pop them back to dry. They don't take long to dry. Acrylic paint doesn't take long. Some might just need a little touch up like that, for instance. It's a tiny bit. You might want to go underneath and make sure that everything's done. So just very quickly, and this is quick, this one, because it's all so much stiffer and harder. It's all set. And so you're not playing with something that's very, very flimsy. So then you can go underneath and you can paint the wire and just get it all looking nice and red like that. And so just go over all your little leaves or petals, as I say, whichever you want to call them, and then we'll come back and it'll be time to actually put the flower together. Right, let's carry on with this. The first thing you're going to notice is I've actually changed my jumper. I'm so sorry about that, but I had to change it straight away halfway through filming because I actually dropped the red paintbrush with the acrylic paint on it all over my nice Jules white sweatshirt, which I'm very disappointed about. So I've got to try and get it off. So that's what I've been doing. So I had to change my top. So you're not seeing things. It's my fault. Sorry. But a lesson learned, wear an apron when you're using acrylic paint. And I should know that more than most, but I don't always. So now we're going to put everything together. So we'll need a set of stamens, 4 or 5 small leaves, depending on the size of them, and maybe 6 larger leaves. So I'll just get those all together now, ready to fix together. So there's our 6 large petals, and there's our 4 or 5 small petals. You can add more as you go along if you want to. We've got artistic license here, and these petals do seem to spread out all over the place on the real plant. So the first thing we need is the middle. Then we need to straighten out, as you know, we did this when we dipped them and waiting for them to dry. We did this at a right angle, roughly. Now we need them straight. So 1, 2, make sure the yellow bit's in the middle. 3. Let's try it with just the 4 and hold it all together like that. Just roughly together. You're going to move it about once it's fixed. So just hold it together roughly, and using the wire that you've had around your stamens, just wrap it tightly around there, around the base. Okay, so that's what you're going to be looking like. I've attached another small piece of wire on there. If the piece of wire is long enough that's left from your stamens, then you can carry on using that. And then we're just going to wrap these around, the bigger ones around. So it's 1 and 2. We may need another piece of wire to wrap these actually. 3. Just to hold everything in place. Yes, I think we will need another piece of wire, but that's okay. So we've got 3 on there. We need another piece of wire. So we've got some here, that's okay. So we'll just attach that. And then we're adding more and more of these leaves all the way around. And I think what I'm going to do is put that one over there. But when we do it, you'll see that it will spread out, and it will look quite nice when it's all spread out. It doesn't look it at the moment, but I can assure you it will. So do it lovely and tight, and then take it all the way down like that to the end. So you're going to have something that looks a bit like that. Now we're just going to cover the stem, and I'm using this stretchy florist tape. You can get all sorts of florist tape in the garden centres and things all over the place. And you just, this particular one, it does pull away sometimes because you just have to stretch it. But you could use any green tape that you want, or white tape, and just paint it green. You could do that. So once you've done that, you've got that all ready, then you're just going to attach your stick. Don't do it right up to the top, because you might want to bend the stick, bend the flower a little bit. So just do it about a couple of centimetres below, and then you need to completely cover that stick. These sticks aren't going to show because they're going to be inside your plant if you've already got a poinsettia plant, or they're going to be inside your holly or ivy or wherever you want to put them. And of course you can do short stems. You don't have to do great big stems. I'm going to put some of these in a plant that isn't a poinsettia. It's actually a bromelaid, but it has got a red flower. And so I'm going to cut 2 small ones and do those in the pot plant for this bromelaid that I've got. And I'll show you that at the end. So all the way down as far as you need to go. And I think that's far enough. Now I'm going to just start teasing out, do it gently, the petals. As I say, they don't have to be perfect at all. They can be, ooh, sticking it in myself, just like this. Okay, so just peel them, tease them out. You can have them more closed, you can have them more open. It depends on what you want to do. And then you will end up with something like that, which is very similar to a poinsettia flower. You could also add more to it if you want to now. You could make a much bigger flower by just literally putting one there, going round again, another one there, going round again. Do you see? So that's your choice. And also your choice, if you want to, you can just pop a little bit of glitter on. So for that, all we need is just a tiny bit of glue. Oh, I've done it again. Oh, I've sealed it up. Look, and it's a bit messy. So let's have that. And we just want a brush, tiny bit of glue. Not a lot, because you don't want them to be all glittery. Just a little bit like that. Don't slap it all on. And you'll find, once you get to this stage anyway, you can, it's much sturdier. The flower itself is so much sturdier. So then just a little, you don't want loads. Sprinkle it on wherever you put a little bit of glue, as much or as little as you want to. You could always paint the stamens gold, I suppose, and that would look quite pretty as well, wouldn't it? So shake him off. And there's your poinsettia flower. I think he's rather sweet, do you? So there we are. This is I don't think I'm pronouncing it properly actually, but I know what I mean. I think it's a bromelaid, but it's a hard thing to say. For me anyway, not for everybody I suppose. But anyway, look, so I've put one in there, which is where we originally had a red flower coming out, and one in there. But this plant's about 4 years old now. It was bought for me by a very special lady and her daughter for my birthday. Couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. Anyway, so I keep it, but it doesn't ever flower again. But I hope you can see that, okay? And I think it looks rather pretty, and with the dragonflies. Just remember, if you are using these flowers in your plants, make sure that when you water the plants, don't get the water on the flowers, because they are PVA glue, and the dragonflies, or butterflies, whatever you want to call them, because they will disintegrate. And this is my poinsettia plant. It's huge. It's been growing since last November. I love it. I'm so pleased that it's still growing. And it has got some of its own red flowers coming out on it, you see, here and here. But I've put some of mine with glitter, some without. Another thing that you can do is you could always varnish them before you put them on the sticks with or once they're on the sticks, with some sparkling shiny yacht varnish. It's a spray and it's almost instantaneous. It dries, and you could try doing that, but hold it quite a way back. But I hope you like this. I hope you do. I think it's quite sweet. And I'll come back to you in a week or so with another little thing. I'm going to make some bird feeders for you that are so simple to make and cost you nothing. So enjoy making these. Let me know if you like it. And I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye, my friends, for now.